Are you ready for a daily vlog? Because that's what I'm going to attempt to make this video. It might end up being a 2-day vlog just because I'm going to be doing some filming for a different video today, and I don't know if there will be enough footage outside of that to include in this video. Today's goals include getting started on the second Sewing Through the Decades project, which is a 19s dress. And I want to work on 2 hats, one of which will be for the 1920s project and one of which will go with the Edwardian project. So I have a hat base for the 1920s that I need to alter pretty significantly, and then I'm going to be making the Edwardian one completely from scratch. So I'm going to try and get both of those probably not done today, but make significant headway on both of those. So I thought I'd take you along with me and we'll see what I can get accomplished. Just a 100% wool felt hat that I purchased from Amazon. I believe it was $15. I was going to do a video about reblocking this, but to be honest, I've never blocked a hat before. I don't want to come off as if I'm portraying myself as an expert, because I'm definitely not. As I said, I was going to reblock this. I was going to try and use a styrofoam wig head and see if I could make this portion a little bit larger and come down a little bit lower. But I think there may be a seam connecting the brim and the top portion. I don't know if you'll be able to see the seaming, but there is definitely a stitch line here, and I'm not sure if that's just attaching the ribbon to the interior or if that is attaching the layers together. So I need to investigate that. But I think the first order of business is going to be ripping this little band off. It's just glued on, and they did a really poor job of it too. So I'm going to take this off and then we will see what it looks like underneath that. So it looks like that that line of stitching I was worried about is just connecting the gross grain to the upper portion, which means I could reblock this if I felt confident enough. But I'm not sure that I have to. I think I'm going to try it on again and see what I think. So I just looked up some examples and also got out my wig head, which is what is attached to this glass base, and I definitely want to reblock this. I don't think it goes down far enough to really look like a 1920s hat. My main concern is that my wig head is smaller than my head is, so if I use that as the form for blocking it, which is really all I have to block it since I don't own a proper hat block, then it might end up being too small. So I don't know if I can layer flannel over top of the wig hat. So I don't know if I can layer something over top of the styrofoam form to try and get it more like the shape and size of my head, or if that's just going to make the wool look lumpy when it's draped over top. I think I'm going to try using some quilt batting to pad out the form, and then maybe put like a plastic bag over top of it so it won't get super soaked and damaged during this process. Yeah, I think that's my plan. Alright, so okay, well I feel sort of like a serial killer wrapping this up in bubble wrap, but I think that's going to be a lot closer to my head size, so I'm going to go ahead and put the hat on there and see if it looks about right. For reference, before the hat was quite loose on this, and now the hat fits quite tightly, which is good. I might just put a single layer of quilt batting over this and then wrap the plastic bag around it. Alright, so my steamer just basically ran out of steam, and this is what I'm currently working with. So that I think went pretty well. I'm not sure how symmetrical it's going to be, but I basically directed the steam in this area over where the seam where the hat had originally been formed to flare out. So even though there wasn't an actual seam there was a very precise fold in the material there. So I worked to get rid of that and bring the brim flat against the scalp so it'll sit lower down on my head. So I made it to sit, I'd say at least an inch lower pretty much everywhere. And then since the pins were kind of being forced out just by the force of this brim, I took the ribbon that was originally on the interior of the hat and I pulled that over top and kind of added a couple more pins to keep it in place. And then I went over this ridge with steam again to make sure there weren't too many puckers in it. There are a couple here. Obviously I'm not going to leave it like this. I'm going to have the brim flare up at least a little bit. I'm probably going to go for an asymmetrical design just because I'm not super confident that I can get this symmetrical. And I also think that asymmetrical designs are quite cool and were very common in the 1920s. But I'm gonna let this set first. I don't know how long that takes. Probably gonna give it at least half an hour and then see what it feels. So while I wait for the hat to set, I'm gonna do a little bit of research and figure out what I want the Edwardian hat to look like, which I'm gonna also be starting on today. So it's been like an hour since I last updated you. I'm not sure why. I got really into listening to music and just sort of blanked out there. But I did draft the pattern for the Edwardian hat. I'm going to base it off of these examples from the McCall's Pattern Archives. These are pictures I took of the books when I visited their headquarters. So these are actually probably from Butterick Books, but they're from 1909. So they're from a similar period as the McCall's patterns that I followed to create the skirt and the blouse that I'm going to wear with this. So I thought that would be a nice little tie-in. I love the expressions on these people's faces. They're so funny to me. Like, tag yourself. Are you the prissy one? Are you the judgmental one? Are you the modest one? I'm the judgmental one in the middle, definitely. And then you can just tell that these three hate each other. But anyway, I'm kind of torn on what type of hat to do. I think I'm going to do sort of a bucket hat with a narrow brim and a very large crown, and then I want to cover it in flowers. I attempted to do that with this hat, which has gotten really dusty while it's been hanging up here, but the brim ended up being larger than I'd expected, and this portion ended up being smaller than I'd expected. And though I absolutely love this hat, it's one of my favorite hats I've ever made, it doesn't quite look the way I had intended it to look. So this is like a take two. I'm going to use the black wool for the outer portion of the hat, and then I'm going to line it with the cotton that I will use for the shirtwaist. I'm going to add a bright green silk shantung sash, and then I'm going to use yellow and purple flowers and lots of leaves to add a bunch of texture and interest to the brim. So I'm really excited about this. I also have these fake grapes, and if you're thinking that putting fake grapes on a hat is stupid, then I don't think you should really be watching this video because I think it's awesome. I'd originally planned on using this for the sash and then this matching feather, which I've had forever. But once I started thinking about it, I liked the idea of going with more of a spring color scheme, and I didn't have any flowers that matched this purple. So I'm really happy with how these look together, and I can't wait to see how it will look on the hat. As I said, my pattern is over here, so it's going to be a very large oversized crown and then a relatively narrow brim, which dips down slightly at the sides. So I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. Speaking of hats, over here I have the wool one. So I did a lot of this off camera since I couldn't really get the angle right, and it was a lot of trying on and then putting back on the form and then trying on again and putting it back and all of that. So it wouldn't have been easy or probably very interesting to see. But I ended up adding a seam here, and then I trimmed the brim down pretty significantly, and I steamed it again and tried to turn the brim upward. So there are a lot of these little, you can see them from the side. It dips in and then out and in and out. I'm not sure how to get rid of those. I'm wondering, and this might be a really stupid idea, can I use a straightening iron to flatten this edge out? Would that be a thing that would work? I'm really tempted to just try it because I know I'm already not doing this the right way, so might as well do it really wrong. Alright, so it is later in the day. I ended up taking a bit of a break and I did get the 1920s hat finished. I'm going to show you that tomorrow and go over the final few touches then. The Edwardian hat currently looks like this. This is going to be the brim, this is going to be the top, this is going to be the crown. I'm a little worried that it's too high, but I want this to be really kind of comical and exaggerated in terms of shape, so I'm gonna go with it and we'll hope for the best. Worst case scenario, I suppose I could remove the wire and trim it shorter and then re-sew in the wire if I had to. The wire I'm going to be using is this stuff that my dad dug up from the basement. I don't think it's 18 gauge, I think it's 16 gauge because it looks thicker and it's significantly firmer than what I've been using, but it's pretty much all I have right now, so I'm gonna work with it. Also, this is gross, so if you don't like bugs, then look away. But a cricket managed to get itself squished in between the tape and it died in there. So that's just a delight. Looking forward to taking that tape off. But anyway, I'm going to unwrap this and then get it bent and binder clipped onto the various pieces, and hopefully this will look more like a hat in a couple of minutes. Actually, before I get started on this, look at what I got today. I'm so excited. I've been using probably 24 binder clips for all of my hat work for the last 2 years, and I just stole these from a cabinet downstairs. It is a cabinet in our house. I didn't like go to Office Depot and steal them. So now I can add wire to all of the pieces and sew them all in one batch without having to sew one and then come back over here and remove the clips and etc. So very exciting stuff for someone who has as boring of a life as me. So it's quite literally several months later, and I was just looking over this footage, which I edited several months ago and rendered into a single file, but never actually filmed an end clip for. So that's what I'm doing today. I just wanted to show you the 1920s hat in a little bit more detail since I never really explained the process of creating it. Then I can call this a wrap and get this uploaded for you. So you saw part of the process of making this hat. I started out with a floppy brim 100% wool felted hat that I purchased on Amazon, and then I attempted to block it over a styrofoam wig form just by steaming it and using that to free up the wool, and then using pins to stretch it, as well as the gross grain ribbon that was originally on the interior of it. And once I had it stretched to a shape that I liked better, I trimmed the brim down pretty substantially, and I started to use more steam and more pins to upturn the brim. But I had some problems with it bulging or fluttering around the edge, as I showed you guys, and I did try using a straightening iron to fix that, and it did not fix it. What did fix it though was sewing on bias binding. That stiffened the edge a little bit and gave me more control over the shape of the edge when I was turning it inward. So I used some chocolate brown cotton sateen for that, since I also used some of that on the dress and I thought it was a nice tie-in. And I sewed one edge on by machine and then the other edge was whip stitched to the interior. And I actually didn't cut the bias binding to be wide enough, so this edge is not finished and doesn't actually even cover the stitching that was used to secure the other edge. So this isn't a hat that you want to look too closely at. I was gonna say it does look nice from the exterior, but it's probably better finished on the interior, if I'm being honest. And then once I was happy with the shape of everything, I trimmed it with a satin band that I made, and I also made some little flowers for it. I will probably do a tutorial for these flowers if you guys are interested. They're really easy to make. They're just made out of circles that are folded into quarters, and then you gather the rounded edge and stitch them together and stitch some pearls over the center. So I cut enough to make a whole bunch of these, but I only ended up using 3 of them since I thought that was a nice, elegant amount. And I finished it with a couple of hand-cut pheasant feathers as well. By hand-cut, I mean hand-shaped. I didn't cut these off of a bird with my own scissors. And then on the inside, I sewed the grosgrain ribbon back into position just to help it keep its shape. That's why ribbon is usually sewn into these hats, because the wool hats, as you saw, are pretty easy to deform since they don't have any structure to them. They're just blocked into place. So having the ribbon helps them keep their shape, and that's the same reason you'll see these ribbons on straw hats. And then in other hats which have more body to them, the ribbon usually has elastic in it, so it helps hold it onto your head. But in hats like this, it's totally just to keep the wool in its shape, and that's what I re-sewed it in for as well. So that is the hat. I don't know, I guess I kind of have mixed feelings on how this turned out because I think it could have turned out better, but I'm also pretty proud of how this went for a first attempt. So yeah, I hope that clears up the process, or at least kind of clears up the process. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was sort of all over the place and things weren't necessarily explained to the fullest they could have been, but it's kind of at a point now that's been so long that I filmed this that I don't feel like I can really add context. So I hope you enjoy it in its natural state, and maybe I can film another one of these when I'm making accessories to go with later projects, and I can try and document those in a little bit more detail. So thanks again for watching, and I will talk to all of you very soon.